Hi, welcome back to Demo Garage. I'm Steven, and I'm restoring a 1974 TVR 2500M. In this episode, I'm going to be tackling one of several projects related to the bonnet, and it's going to be reinstalling some sheet metal reinforcement plates and repairing some damage on the location that is the latching mechanism located near the windshield. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm gonna work on these guys and come up to speed on the fiberglass work. So I'm gonna cut out and grind out and sand out this metal part, and then I'm gonna work on repairing this section. And one over there is looking pretty sad too, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and grind that one out and design up some new brackets, maybe stainless steel this time, and that's where I'm gonna start on this hood. So I'll bring you back after I've got these taken out. Okay, so here's the location that is gonna get the first reconstruction effort to bring this hood back to road going condition. You can see this sanded location on both sides where I have removed these reinforcement plates. You can see they're in fairly poor condition, and I have some new plates that are going to be arriving shortly, slightly thicker and made out of stainless steel. These were fiberglassed in place, and it looks like I might have the driver's side here, or let's see, this thing's flipped over, so this is the passenger side, and I'm working on the driver's side. Anyway, so I have two plates coming in that will be fiberglassed in place, and then this area is damaged, and I will be repairing that, and I have an idea on how I'm going to do that, and I don't know if it's clever or not, but let me bring you back in a second and I'll describe what I'm planning to do. Okay, so here's my thought on repairing that fiberglass. I am an avid 3D printer, and so I drew up what I'm hoping to be some molds that will help me lay up this fiberglass in a specific shape. I've got an over and an under, and let's see, how do these work? I think, so they need a little bit of trimming because I've kind of changed my plan on how I intend to use this, but you can see that this mold just about slides under there and will create the shape I'm looking for. And so I'll be fitting that in, and then I'll be probably trimming the fiberglass back around here, and I'll probably be grinding it, fairing it into like a feathered edge, and then I'll be laying in thicknesses of fiberglass until I get the desired thickness, and then this piece will come down on top, and I'll clamp it all in place. And these fixtures were designed so that they allowed the thickness I was going for when they're clamped up. So I'm hoping that the plastic doesn't warp too much. You know, fiberglass is an exothermic reaction, but I'm only trying to get one use out of this. And so my intention is, this is my intention. We'll see. I'll need to clean this fiberglass up, start trimming it back, start fairing the edge, and then I'll fit this mold in place a little bit better. And and when I got things fitted a little bit better, I'll be bringing you back, and I'll describe any difficulties I had. But I'll bring you back before I actually start the fiberglassing effort. Okay, I'm back. It's after work. In the evening, I'm going to be putting in a couple hours on the hood, and I came home to find this package. So I'm going to do a quick unboxing. This is from SendCutSend, and I had designed up replacements for these brackets. Not sure which one I have here. If this is, yeah, it looks like this is probably the opposite side. So hopefully they're gonna match these guys and look pretty good. So let me open this up and see how badly I screwed up, or maybe I did good and I've got good parts in here. Okay. I have ordered from SendCutSend a few times, and I've been very happy with that company. The packaging looks good. Looks like they got some Skittles in here. All right. So the packaging is always very nice. It's got the bend in it. And let me open this up. And these are to replace some of the rusty bits on this latch mechanism. And I would say I screwed up a little bit. Does anyone else see the difference between the two? Like maybe I missed the center hole and I'm gonna have to drill that separately, but that's okay. I can fix that. All right, well hopefully the other parts aren't gonna be missing anything. Okay, here's one of them. Looks pretty good. And then because this bend is, I guess isn't perpendicular, you have to design it with a parallel edge to the bend. And so this is slotted here. I made this slotted, so that's sacrificial, and I'll be cutting that off. But, let's see. Looks like it matches this one. Huh. I would say that is definitely close enough. I think that looks pretty good. Looks like I matched that. This area is just to fiberglass through. So that's what was on the original part. And I'm pretty happy with that. So these will be getting fiberglassed in place. And again, they match the original, except they're made of stainless and they're one thickness bigger in gauge. So yeah. All right. So that concludes this unboxing, and I'm gonna get back to work. Okay, well, getting ready to do my first fiberglass repair. I've got this damaged section cut out and ground down to some clean material, and then I've wiped the surface with alcohol, and I've feathered the edges somewhat as much as possible. And then I've got these forms modified, you know, printed and modified to fit. So the idea, I guess, is to get a first layer or two kind of in this surface, and then put the block into place, and then start laying up glass and trying to feather it in. I've got quite a few different pieces of fiberglass prepped. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of get them laminated in this section with the resin, and then lift it into place, and then use the scissors to kind of get a you know, a gradual step into the feathered area. So yeah, so I've got my resin in this cup. I need to add the hardener, and I've got that. Got something to mix with. Got some gloves. I'm probably going to end up speeding this up, or maybe not even using it at all if it goes horribly wrong. But that's the good thing about fiberglass, is you can't mess it up too bad. You can always cut and grind it out and try it again. But let's see if we can get this in the first try. Let me scientifically add the hardener here. Just got a little bit of past experience on about what the proportions ought to be. Let me get this mixed up thoroughly. I'll mix it for a minute or so, kind of scraping the sides so that there isn't some non-catalyzed fiberglass. Getting eaten by mosquitoes out here, so if you see me distracted, I'm probably trying to knock one off me. But I'm not sure how much. Yeah, it looks like you can kind of see what I'm going to be doing over here. This is just wax paper. Another thing I did is I put a couple of coats of wax paste on these forms in an attempt to try and keep the fiberglass from sticking to the plastic. Actually, I might even kind of work on this surface in front of me. Maybe you've got a better view of that anyway. Yep. Fiberglass can be fairly frustrating. All right, that's probably going to be good enough. All right, so my intention is to have, well, let me wet out the surface a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit of a pouring method, and then this fin roller. Got the glass pretty well saturated with the resin. This is just polyester. And then try and work out the air bubbles. I'm hoping that my little molds will help push this into place as well. Okay. Now I'm going to use a couple of the bigger ones. And I think I'm going to trim this to length. So maybe about here. We put a little resin down on this surface. Again, I'm going to work in the resin into the glass. Hopefully I've got a decent working time. Okay. Put these guys in place, and now I'm going to try and get this block into place, and I've got a couple of shims to help me. Of course, this is going to be adjusted at the very end. Okay. Let's see if I maybe pre-wet this surface. Right. I'll get down to the thinner ones. Okay. I think I'm going to need approximately 15 or so pieces to get to the desired thickness. So this is going to be a sticky mess. So far this is going about as I had envisioned. As long as the resin doesn't start to harden early on me, I think I'm gonna be okay. Hopefully this feathered edge is going to work out for me. I've got that other mold to kind of help push it down. I do expect excess resin to kind of squeeze out. Maybe that's going to make a mess, but I think I'm going to switch gloves. That was getting a little sticky. Now my hands are sweaty. Okay. Can't tell if the resin's starting to set up for me or not. I hope not. Still got some more work to do. I'm starting to get close enough to, if this resin starts to go on me, that I can probably stop laying up glass. I wasn't sure exactly how many layers I was going to need to get to my desired thickness. I figured I could always go over and then grind it back down. Might just throw these scissors away after this abuse. All right, I think I'm running out of time. This is probably going to be my last one. Maybe I'll try and cram. Yeah, starting to set up on me. Get the last chance to get some air bubbles out and position these. Okay, now this one goes over here, and then the idea is to try and clamp all this together. So I think I might go for another change of gloves. Some shims to jam into place to try and push that up. And then I don't know if I need bigger clamps than that. Oh, looks like that's going to work. Let's see. See if I can adjust this a little bit better. Remember, you can always sand it. hopefully the fiberglass drying and becoming an exothermic reaction doesn't cause the plastic forms to melt. And hopefully the fiberglass doesn't stick too hard to these plastic molds. But it kind of looks like I might have done okay. Can always add layers to it later. And I'm probably going to do one on the inside anyway that I'll show you later. But I think I probably came close to getting to the thickness that I was hoping for. Kind of want to see it. Gonna have to wait though. Okay, maybe I'll do a little bit of cleanup and then I'll bring you back for a quick couple of seconds of where we're at. All right, thanks. Okay, here's the two molds clamped up, and I've cleaned up a bit of the excess mess. As you probably saw in the video, the fiberglass layup extended further than this edge, so I'll be trimming that back, and hopefully I have built up enough thickness, and hopefully these molds will be removable. Hopefully I won't have to cut them out, but I'll deal with that tomorrow and see if after unclamping this they come apart or not. So this is all I'm going to do for the evening, and I'll bring you back tomorrow for the unmolding. Okay, well, it's been a couple of days since I've laid up this fiberglass repair on my hood, and I'm pretty excited to see how it turned out. So let me see if I can get this thing unclamped. Let me try and do this one-handed while I'm still videoing. Hopefully this is staying in focus. And hopefully this isn't going to stick. Okay, that came off nice. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That turned out all right. Looks like got a nice cure. And that, at least that upper mold came off nice and easy. This is the wax I prepped the mold surface with. Hopefully the bottom will come off okay. Yeah. So I did lay this up wider than I needed to, and then this is going to get trimmed back, and it's a little high, which is okay. I'm going to sand down these edges to what's there. See, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this one-handed, and I might need to trim off this edge. I don't know if I got fiberglass everywhere. I think what I'm going to do now is I might set the camera down, trim off this edge, pull that mold out, and I'll bring it right back. All right, give me a sec. Okay, so that went pretty well. I did exactly like I said I was going to. I just took a little bit of a skim cut on this edge. You can see a little mark through my mold. And it did take a little bit of persuasion with a flat-bladed screwdriver, but popped off cleanly. pretty pleased with the thickness of material layup, and I think that's gonna sand nicely. That back wall I'm gonna prep, and I think I'm gonna, like you see here, there's a thick layer of matting, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and run a layer of matting along this edge, up the back, and along here to tie things together and maybe extend a little further each direction. But I think that's going to be a repair, a sound repair well done, and I'm very excited about that. So I don't know if I'm going to show you that part on camera. Yeah, I'll probably bring it back. I'll bring it back after I've got those layers in and this sanded and trimmed back to shape. But yeah, very excited about that. I need to start thinking about when I'm going to install the new sheet metal braces. So yeah, awesome. Very pleased. Okay, bringing you back with another segment from the Bonnet Latch fiberglass repair. And I'm getting ready to do the last bit of fiberglassing for this repair. This thing needs a lot more fiberglassing, but so I think you've seen in a previous clip, I've recreated this complex shape, and I have feathered in the edge on both sides from the original material, so I got the most contact surface, and I feel like it's bonded quite well. But I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more reinforcement. I'm going to do 2 layers of mat. You can already see there's a thick mat here, and I can't see why it would hurt to add 2 more layers of mat. So I'm going to do 2 on this face, 2 on this face, is what is now horizontal, and then up here, and so I can again tie in the new material to the old material as much as possible. And of course I've got the new sheet metal parts, so I can customize those to compensate for any additional thickness. And then what I'm going to do there, I'm going to go ahead and reinforce over here as well. So I've cleaned up the old glass, and I've shot some air on it, so clean up the dust, and I've hit it with some isopropyl alcohol. And I got my tools, I got my fiberglass mat, excuse me, got my fiberglass mat all trimmed, and so it's going to be just a matter of mixing up some resin, and then I'll be pre-wetting it here and putting it in place. And I don't know how much I'm going to subject you to the previous clip where I was doing a lot of this layup, but you're probably tired of that. So I'll probably just go ahead and complete this project, and I'll bring you back when I'm not, when I don't have a frog in my throat. So I'll bring you right back. Okay, it went pretty well. I'm pleased how the glass laid down, and I think that's going to add some nice thickness to the laminate. I did have to break it up into 2 batches, so there was a little bit of waste of resin on the right side. Kind of figured out how much I needed. It started to cure on me, so I stopped after having made the right side complete, and then I regrouped, added new resin, cured that, and then I went ahead and did the left side. And again, left side is just for funsies, but how could it hurt, right? So I worked all the air bubbles out. There's 2 layers on all 3 surfaces. And then the whole point was to get a little bit better cohesion between the old and new on this side. And again, I did 2 layers on all 3 surfaces. So this is where I'm going to complete this project for the evening. And I think I'm going to go ahead and finish this out for this video. So probably a better part of a week still to do. I'm going to trim this fiberglass back and glass in the new stainless steel sheet metal that I had made by SendCutSend, and reinstall those latches, and then I'll be posting that one. But still another possible week of work to do on that. And yeah, so thanks for joining, and I'll be back in another clip soon. Okay, here's the next step. The fiberglass repair on the bonnet's looking really good. It is super strong. I put a couple more layers on this surface, the back surface, and up underneath to help tie in the new material. Yep, so this side's all new, and then even on the other side I went ahead and put those layers of fiberglass on the inside to strengthen that side too. So now I'm back to this stage. You can see these reinforcement plates that were fiberglassed into this bare area were a little worse for wear, so I had some made up. These are stainless, I think they're 304, and they are a bit thicker than the original, so I think that can only help. And I have cleaned up the latch mechanisms. So I think the way I'm going to do this is I think I'm going to thicken some epoxy or some resin and kind of glue this in place. Probably put some resin here and maybe some thickened resin on here and bolt it into place, and then kind of let it maybe get the excess out in some areas around it as a squeeze out. I'll bolt it in so that'll hold the position, and then after that is set up or dry, then I'll start fiberglassing it in like the original was. And these 3 holes, like you can see, that was part of the original bracket as well. That's just to help me bond the glass on top to the bonnet glass. So yep, going very well. Very pleased with this repair. The use of that mold, I was excited about how that came off, and I'm still cleaning this up just a little bit more. But yeah, it's strong. It's stronger than the other side, and I got nice material thickness there. So yeah, I'll bring you back after I've got this reinforcement bracket in place, and maybe I'll have installed the latch, and that'll be, I think, maybe one more clip for this repair, and I'll bring you back after I get that all set up. Thanks. Okay, it's done. The latch repair is done. I have the latch mechanism installed. The fiberglass looks great. I couldn't be any happier. That 3D printed mold worked out just like I hoped it would. And yeah, it's looking great. I think I'm going to be on to the next project. But before I start, let me show you how that turned out, and reposition the camera. Okay, so this is the repaired side, and the new stainless steel brackets are installed, and they've been fiberglassed in, and the latch mechanisms have been cleaned up as much as I can get them to be so. A little pitted, but That's how I'm going to leave them. Have good thickness on the contour there. Added a few more layers of glass to both sides. Got that side installed as well. Let me walk around a little bit to this side. Yeah. Yeah. Very pleased with that. So I want to thank you for coming along on this journey. And I think I showed you one way to do a repair on these things. And I'd like to thank you for joining me. This is Steven with Demo Garage, and have a great day.